In the beginning of John chapter 5, Jesus does something spectacular. He heals a man that's been paralyzed for 38 years. This guy's been laying by the pool of Bethesda for almost 4 decades, hoping against hope that by some miracle he might receive his ability to walk again. And then came the day that he encountered Jesus. And Jesus said to him, "Get up, take up your bed, and walk." And with the power and the authority of his word alone, Jesus commanded life and functionality to be restored to the body of this man. Just as at the first day of creation, reality bowed down and submitted to the divine command of its creator. But the heart of this chapter isn't really about healing at all. It's about something much deeper: authority. Who is Jesus really? For the rest of this chapter, John's going to slow way down and allow us to watch this interaction between Jesus and the religious leaders. Verse 9 tells us that this day was the Sabbath day. And this becomes the trigger for the confrontation through which Jesus will make himself known to the religious leaders. Verse 16 says that this was the very reason that they were persecuting him, because he was doing these things on the Sabbath. See, this wasn't the first time. Jesus continued doing things on the Sabbath, and this irritated the religious leaders because their minds and their hearts were caught up and focused in finding their hope in their own religious rules and regulations and traditions, rather than finding their hope in the coming of the Messiah. He was the one who would come and redeem his people and deliver them out of slavery and subjugation and restore them to God. It's almost as if by doing these things on the Sabbath, Jesus is picking at a sore spot with them, as if to get them to open their eyes and see him for who he truly is. I mean, these are the very people, the religious leaders who had dedicated their lives to the pursuit of holiness and righteousness under the law in hopes of ushering in the Messiah, the very one who stood before them in this moment. And yet they'd become so distracted by the details of their beloved traditions that when he had finally come and was standing right before them, they still missed him. And so when they see this man healed and carrying his bed on the Sabbath day, all they can think of is that he's breaking the rules. And so they say to the man, "Who's the one who told you to take up your bed and walk?" Or in other words, who's the one who took upon himself the authority to override our rules? And maybe they're not the only ones asking this question. Maybe we need to take a look inward at our own rules, at our own traditions, at our own right way of doing things, and ask ourselves what's more important: the rules, the traditions, the way of doing things, or the one to whom all those things point, and who has the authority to override those? That's the exact question that Jesus is going to answer in the rest of this chapter.